For Cyber, we are still in Parliament House na Cyber, I defy the Supreme Court nominee and nominees such as Rebecca a year the President Mahama recommend yomo. Some co parliament in covet yomo near to 2 manum sem kakra through scrutinization near who said the receive money city corrections was some year and said there was a Ghana for home or my nina Cyber, the report na go pimo at the Chamber of Parliament House. Na Haruna Iddrisu akasa because Afenyo Markin and grow for HSA. The president na ya no unlawful. Enye papa. Haruna Iddrisu approve you wrong HSA. Tama na more fan for Supreme Court no. Na ye kasa na muti. Fa na our constitution man bit match say okay president na do unlawful. And yes, I'm going to the course between Haruna Iddrisu and the NPP MPs
of the minority caucus. On the majority side, my instruction is to allow 2 plus the majority leader. So the proposal is for the 2 from the majority to make their submissions, then the minority leader can then come in, and then we end it with the majority leader. That is the instructions I've been given. I want to hear from your side whether you are also ceding to the majority leader or you want to take your bite before the majority leader. Then we know what to do. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, the arrangement is that the 2 will speak, then...
No. Talk about your side. I've already stated what they told me. The rest have ceded their time to the minority leader.
Yes.
So they are not going to speak again.
Yes.
It's now left with your side.
Yes.
Would you want the 2 still to speak before you? Or you want...
No. So the 2 will speak, then he will speak, then I will speak last.
That's what I said.
Yes. So they should go ahead.
So we'll take the 2 from your side.
Yes.
Then you now come in, then you will end up.
That is so.
Yes, that was what I put across. Yes, so who are the 2? Honorable Minister for Education.
Mr. Speaker, let me thank you for the opportunity to contribute to the motion ably moved by the First Deputy Speaker and Chairman of the Appointments Committee that this House approve the nomination of 7 justices of the Supreme Court of Ghana. And Mr. Speaker, in doing so, I just listened to my senior at the bar who espoused and made reference to the Constitution and what the Honorable Anyimedu on what he considers best practice. Mr. Speaker, the question this House, guided by you, is to ask is 1. Is the President of Ghana, President John Dramani Mahama, legitimately and lawfully and constitutionally respecting the tenets of the Constitution? Yes, he has, and yes, he does. Mr. Speaker, may I refer you with respect to Article 1442. 1442. So President John Dramani Mahama is not doing anything than respecting the Constitution of Ghana, which in Honorable Afenyo's words and by his learning and training, the guru norm of the Republic is the Constitution of Ghana. It reads, the Chief Justice shall be appointed by the President acting in consultation with the Council of State and with the approval of Parliament. Not my interest. But Mr. Speaker, Article 1442, the other Supreme Court justices shall be appointed by the President acting on the advice of the Judicial Council. Mr. Speaker, President John Dramani Mahama received lawful legitimate advice from the Judicial Council on the appointments of the 7 justices. In consultation with the Council of State, yes, there's been consultation with the Council of State before the President remitted the appointment letter. And then finally, with the approval of Parliament, this is what we are coming to do, Mr. Speaker. Parliament is coming to approve the nomination. So, Mr. Speaker, I speak in favor of the motion. And again, with respect, Mr. Speaker, I want to address the question raised by the Honorable Anyimedu. I may again, Mr. Speaker, refer you to Article 128. 128. Mr. Speaker, maybe you are now arguing today. 10 years back, it's always been my view that there should be a capping and ceiling of the number of Supreme Court judges. I even made a paper for CDD with Justice Pega then. But Mr. Speaker, what does the Constitution say today? President Mahama is not operating with an anticipated Constitution in the future. He is operating with the 1992 Republican Constitution, not a future Constitution. So, Mr. Speaker, if the argument by the Honorable Anyimedu and many of our colleagues is that seek an amendment to Article 128, that we have heard you, and that we all should resolve, must attract the attention of the Constitutional Review Committee, so that the Constitutional Review Committee in its work will consider providing for a capping, so that this question of whether 17, 19, 20, as he argued. But Mr. Speaker, Article 128 is crystal clear. It reads, and I quote for the record, the Supreme Court shall be due 1281. The Supreme Court shall consist of the Chief Justice and not less than 9 other justices of the Supreme Court. Not less than 9. Not less than 9, mathematically, you did arithmetic. It means it can be more than 9. And 19 is more than 9. 20 is more than 9. Even 21 is more than 9. Judicial mathematics. Mr. Speaker, that is not to say I'm departing from a generally held view, which is my own view, that we should provide for a cap of a maximum of Supreme Court judges. But Mr. Speaker, until we review the Constitution, make fundamental changes to Article 128, the President is bound to respect the 1992 Constitution and its provisions. In any case, when you kept appointing justices of the Supreme Court, did you ever respect when the Ghanaian people said that lower, provide for a threshold? Today, because you are sitting opposite, you want to obstruct the right of President Mahama to appoint justices of the Supreme Court. Then, Mr. Speaker, finally, in the whole northern Ghana, Mr. Speaker, if there is a matter pending at the appeals court, they are compelled to travel to Kumasi and sometimes to Accra in search for justice. That should not be the case. That should not be the case. So not just the Supreme Court, even expansion of the Court of Appeal to the Upper West region, to the Upper East region, to the Northern region must necessarily occupy our attention. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, one of the justices talked about demystifying legal education and expanding legal education. Mr. Speaker, even into next year, we will invite this House to make allocation for the expansion of the School of Law, supported by GET Fund. A request has been received by government through Professor Raymond Atubga of the Faculty of Law. And government is giving it good attention so that into next year we expand it, so that we train more lawyers. Mr. Speaker, with these comments, I beg to support the motion that this House approve the nomination of those justices of the Supreme Court, because the President has only done what is lawful within the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana and what is within his mandate as President of the Republic to appoint justices on the advice of the Judicial Council and to go through the process of the Appointments Committee. Mr. Speaker, even finally, we are talking about asset declaration, and you are asking people, I've seen even arguments that members of Parliament, ministers should declare their assets publicly. Yes, if you want to do so, it's the right thing to do, but amend the Constitution. If you don't amend the Constitution as it is provides for the form and nature of asset declaration. if you do anything outside it, that's not acceptable. But to deepen transparency and to ensure that incomes that are earned by public officers, whether ministers or justices, are commensurate with their income. I share the view that there should be more openness in asset declaration. But as it is now, within the Constitution, we only can go through this audit service report. With this comment, Mr. Speaker, I support the motion.
Yes, Honorable James Agalga.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity to speak in support of the motion to approve of the President's nominations of the 7 justices as justices of the Supreme Court. Mr. Speaker, the eligibility criteria or the qualification for one to be appointed to the Supreme Court is stated clearly in Article 128 of the 92 Constitution. And the relevant provision, Mr. Speaker, is 128(4), which reads as follows. A person shall not be qualified for appointment as a justice of the Supreme Court unless he is of high moral character and proven integrity and is of not less than 15 years standing as a lawyer. Mr. Speaker, this is the eligibility criteria. And the committee, by a majority decision, found that the justices in question are all eligible. In fact, they are men and women of proven integrity and have met the 15 years minimum requirement at the bar. In fact, Mr. Speaker, I know most of the justices, and I will start with Justice Jamafe. Justice Jamafe has been at the Court of Appeal for 15 solid years. In fact, at the time of his nomination, he is the longest serving Court of Appeal judge. He has distinguished himself both as a judge, serving on the bench, and as one appointed by the President to serve on a commission of inquiry, which investigated the 2014 World Cup and its related issues. Mr. Speaker said Dennis Ajay, a distinguished academic scholar, lawyer of great repute, a justice of the African Court on Human and People's Rights, is a judge whose nomination for me to serve on the Supreme Court bench was long overdue. Long overdue.
So for these are the things I also just say a Iddrisu side any trying now Tim say Iddrisu a school me papa even though on the a leader in parliament now so penny watch our parliament house no nimrano and in the standing orders in the parliament you know and that was school so no matter as D80 lectures in as Akroma school them no mutie running mun same or catch them say tamana more in power na more power no or ye can say me break and say more amendment na mon fuck up and to so just say more status some standard say president be no beba and I say for I see a power mom Supreme Court no standard in any limiting in now so my you went on approving and nominating Supreme Court judges, appointing them. Na enyam boni na emra kwan so na moye no. Now so as you see no more say more respected the president, Mahama so a president you know. The be even a jinamra so grandpa mo say enye papa. Even a emra kwan so grandpa mo say enye papa. Na momo die na die. Na momo yende ne papa. Na the one crying say more time no the same constitution and I'm used to the government. Now then you use the president in Iddrisu the same constitution. Uncle for America for the uncle for UK for the uncle for Iran for the Ghana's constitution. The same amendment being by most unlawful. Banasa with Timo Yavapa no can say be no hobbit me I obstructed the president from appointing a Supreme Court judges to the Supreme Court. Man bomitimu da doyana enwana or yen constitutional or performing constitutional mandate and on a year and Iddrisu at my school me I just did any and on the course no go be because on the update na Akroma.